for 90 Day Fiance. Now, I know y'all like, girl, it's episode 12. What are you talking about? Look, I just want to give my little thoughts on this episode. I tried to give y'all my thoughts on the last episode, but something happened with the recording where it didn't save. So, and I was just like, you know what, forget it. Like, forget it. But, actually, I'm rewatching right now. So, because me and my sister, we were trying to watch it yesterday, but the internet kept cutting and stuff, and it was bad, girl. Whew, Lord. But, so far, we've got Jeffrey and Varia. Now, Jeffrey and Varia, Jeffrey has proposed to Varia, right? And Varia says no. Now, from the parts that I did see, I feel like Varia didn't say no, but she said no, right? Obvious. But it wasn't in a no, I don't want to marry you. It was in a I do want to be with you, just not now. It's too early. Like, first of all, we just met. Okay, yeah, we may have been talking for years, but however long they've been talking, but it's like y'all just met. And then so much has happened throughout the time you guys have met, and now you're talking about let's get married. No. And I'm just saying this as if taking out all the shit that Jeffrey has on him. You know, if he was just this guy that didn't have all the stuff that's on him, still, it's just too early, you know? Like, it's way too, like, I would have said no too. Like, this is more than just marriage. Like, it's more than that. Like, you're asking me to not only be with you, but you're asking me to leave my home and go all the way to the United States to live with you, and I barely know you. Like, this has to be more. And right now it's just, we just have a little fun, a little yin-yang here and there and stuff. So yeah, I feel like Rose, Varia, and Avery, I feel like they are the more sensible ones on the show. Everybody else is dumb as hell. Everybody else is dumb as hell. Like, but yeah, so then later on in the episode, you had Jeffrey just pouting. And I was talking to my sister about this, and she was just like, well, you know, if I proposed to somebody and they said no, I would be mad too. Granted, but at the same time, the way Jeffrey was acting, he was just like, man, I don't want to be with you anymore. Why would I come back here? There's nothing for me here. I'd be like, okay. Because it's like, I never said I didn't want to be with you. I didn't want to marry you. All I said was, not right now. Okay? So not right now means not right now. I'm not ready. We're not ready for this. Like, that is a huge step. We're not ready. It isn't. And again, like, y'all just met. Y'all just met. And Jeffrey even said something that made sense. Like, he said, I don't have, the money to be flying back here. And and that's pretty much the upside of y'all or not the upside, but the downside of y'all relationship is the fact that you live in the U.S. and she lives all the way in Russia. So yeah, that's the downside. But if you truly love her and you truly care for her, y'all work it out. But since you want to be this way, in my opinion, I'd be like, well, fuck you then. So that's really it on Varia and Jeffrey, because at this point Jeffrey's not even on the show no more. He's like, fuck TLC. TLC is like, girl, we gonna distance. We about to be out of here like this. Okay. Because, oh my goodness, like every time I watch the show, first of all, whenever you're watching a TV show, especially a popular TV show, go to Twitter. I promise you, your life will be changed. But yeah, like every time Jeffrey come on the screen, people are always talking trash about Jeffrey, and it's like, girl, ooh, this is why y'all gotta really, really, really looking to people for y'all bring them on the show. Cause my God, now y'all playing cleanup person. But anyway, so that's really it on Jeffrey and Alright, y'all. So the next people we gonna talk about, child, we gonna talk about Ash and Avery. First of all, those two, when they first came on, it is obvious they were pretty much, like the boring couple, like, oh, okay, but when I tell you, not only did shit hit the fan, like, oh my gosh, shit hit the fan. I was like, whoa, bro. I'm like, first of all, hold up. Let me get a little more lighting up in here. Jesus Christ. That's how, what's the name be? Ash, she'd be like, you hurt me really bad. So basically, Ash and Avery, girl, they still on this whole, Ash is like, oh, you hurt me, you hurt my feelings because of the seminar, and da-da-da-da-da. I feel like, because, I'm that kind of person that likes to see both sides of the spectrum. And I can totally see where Ash is coming from, because it's like, this happened, it was a bust, and as my spouse, I want you to be there for me, but also at the same time, I'm totally on Avery's side, because it's like, in me being on your side, you have to understand where the problem is. And when you are sitting here spouting off this information that is completely wrong, it completely does not make sense, and you're mad because you know it was wrong and you know it didn't make sense, and you got challenged for it, which again, like I said, this is why I wish I had my other reviews so y'all know what I'm talking about. Then you know that, when you spout out, you cannot just spout out information and think, oh yeah, this is gonna be right, because most of the time it could be right, but at the same time, it's also healthy to challenge yourself, be challenged, if that makes sense, because then you have to be able to, what am I saying? Because if you don't get challenged, then all you're going to think throughout your life that what I say is right, and that's all, like, my word is it, so when you have somebody challenge your word, then it reprograms yourself to be like, okay, that makes sense, I still have my views, but you think of something that's totally different. But I feel that I feel like Ash is definitely an escort. I think since he's been having these individual sessions with these women, I still believe that these sessions, he coaches them, these women, into his bedroom. That's how I feel. Because if you are this relationship coach, one, if you choke up, you saying you speak to a whole bunch of women every single day, then you shouldn't have a problem speaking to a group of women in one sitting. You shouldn't have an issue with that. You shouldn't have an issue with choking up. You shouldn't have an issue if you've done seminars. You shouldn't be choking up. You shouldn't have issues with, people challenging you, because that's the whole purpose of a seminar. You put out your information and people ask questions to challenge what you have said, and you have to be able to explain yourself, but you couldn't do that because you've never done a little seminar. You've never done it. Then you talking about you a relationship coach. I'm pretty sure any relationship coach, anybody who's a marriage counselor or whatever, would not tell you, don't get up and walk away. Don't be so quick to walk away. And what you have done is you have gotten up, you have walked away, you sat here and cried in your little corner, then you come in talking about, you hurt me. And then when Avery tells you, okay, all I'm doing is asking you questions, but whenever it gets hard, you want to get all defensive. You don't do that. You don't do that. And that's what you did. All she did was ask you questions. Is this how you think? And you get mad. Like, why are you attacking me? Why does it feel like I'm attacking you? Because you know you were wrong. You didn't have anything set up. Because he really thought, based on his looks and based on how he sounds and stuff, that these women were just going to come in here and just, be in awe over him. And they very much could have done that. But no, you came across a group of women that are like, hold up, bruh. Hold the hell up. Who do you think you are? What world do you think you're living in? Because you're not living in the world we living in. Okay? So, like, that girl was just like, that one girl, she was like, I mean, I can be this and this, and it turned out just fine. He was like, no. I'm like, how are you going to tell her about her experience? What are you talking about? So, yeah. Another thing with Ash and Avery, I just feel like, first of all, and then this just goes on with adding on to how Ash is just sketch as hell. This man legit told Avery that him and his wife been divorced for 10 years. So then when she goes to sit down with the wife was like, oh, we got divorced like last year. What do you mean y'all just got divorced? Oh, you mean we've been separated for 10 years, but we got divorced last year. Yeah, but the thing is, he said y'all got divorced 10 years ago. And I'm pretty sure Avery's, yeah, I get them mixed up. It's the A names, girl, whatever. But I'm pretty sure Avery's going to bring it up to Ash. And Ash is going to be like, I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing. Let me tell y'all something. Divorce and separated, that's two total different things. Separated means you're still married, okay, and y'all just taking a break or doing whatever it is y'all gotta do to get yourselves together. And I get a lot of times, people get separated because you have to pay to get divorced. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for lawyers. You got to go through the whole battle. And if you got kids, you got custody battle and all this other shebang and stuff. You got to split everything down the middle and whatnot. And nobody wants to go through that. But it's like when you say you're separated, but then a lot of times other people be separated and they're just out there being with other people, and then it's like, so the whole point is, if you're separated, that means you're still married. Y'all just separated. So when somebody who is in a relationship with somebody who is still married, they're just separated, like, oh well, I'm not a homewrecker, I'm just I feel like until, to me, in my opinion, I feel like unless both parties are like consenting, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do my thing, you go do yours, okay, until we do whatever we gotta do to get divorced and whatnot. I feel like until both parties are like that, I think when you are with somebody who's still currently married, that's technically cheating to me. But that's just to me, that's my opinion. But also, at the same time, I just find it weird that Ash would just lie and be like, oh yeah, we've been divorced, when in all reality they're still married, they just got divorced. So yeah, but it's really, and then Avery met the son and whatnot. I still find it weird that, if, let's say, Ash and Avery are still together and they decide to live together in the United States, I feel like taking the son, even though him and his ex-wife are still cool and co-parenting is fine, I just feel like taking him to the United States, I don't know. I just think that because he's young and, because he's like in school, I'm sure, and because he knows only one culture, not saying that I don't know what Australia's culture is versus American culture, but I just think that because he's young and this isn't like, oh, I'm just moving my son to a whole nother city. No, you're moving him to a whole other country, away from his mom, away from his friends and everybody else, his school and stuff. So I just think that it would be best to just keep him there, and then when he's old enough, then make that decision. Let him make that decision if he wants to come live with you in America. But nonetheless, we all know Ash and Avery are not together, obviously. That is an obvious thing right there. So yeah, and then I just also found it weird that, um, in a way, I kind of found it weird that not Ash, but Avery is the one that's like, doing all the work so she can convince the mom to let the son. I'm like, but that's not your son. That's not your job. That's actually Ash's job. I mean, I do commend, Avery actually, sitting down with the ex-wife, so that way she can get to know her and all the other stuff. That way, like, who are you bringing around my child and whatnot. But for you to be sitting here doing all the work, that is very, very odd. So yeah, that's it on Ash. So the next people I want to talk about. This is another couple. Oh, I think maybe I should. Well, I don't know if Erica. I feel like Erica is on that list of most sensible people because yeah, she just needs to realize that you don't allow anybody to manipulate and treat you the way Stephanie treats Erica because okay, so first off, we're just coming off the aftermath of, you know, Erica coming out to her family. Her family's completely cool with it, which I kind of figured because, immediately introducing to her family is like, oh wow, duh. And then not to mention, like, girl, how can you not know? Like, look at you. Like, obvious. So we're getting off of that. Stephanie was talking about how she's going to FaceTime her mom, introduce Erica to her, and then just come out and say, girl, I'm bisexual, right? And in a way, I'm kind of with Stephanie with this because coming out to a parent, when you're coming out to your parents, I feel like the best way to do it as far as coming out is concerned is, if you tell them yourself, regardless of what the outcome is, I feel like it's better off coming from you in person, because saying it over the phone or FaceTime or whatnot or text, like, that's the worst. Like, like, I feel like that has to be like the worst. But like I said, everybody has, their own way of coming out. But to me personally, I wouldn't have done it over, like, I'm in a whole other country, around people that my mama barely knows. I barely know them. And, talking about some girl, I'm bisexual. What? Okay, so I feel like that is very much deserving of a face-to-face conversation. And that way you can just feel, person's energy and stuff. But I also again, here I go with, understanding both sides. Like, I understand that, what the hell? Sorry, I was reading something. I also understand where Stephanie's coming from, because when you're coming out to when you're coming out to your family, it's scary. It is scary. Even if you feel that your parents are going to be cool with it, you don't know that. And even if you know your parents aren't going to be not going to be cool with it, and you know that, it's going to be hard. Like, at some point, it's going to come out. But I just think that it's hard altogether, and it's so scary because you don't know how people are going to be. Like, when I came out to my mom and I told her I was bisexual, I was scared. Yo, I was so scared, and I was just like, huh, girl, what the hell is that? Did it come off? Sorry, y'all. I don't understand what I was expecting. But I have a scab on my foot, and I'm sitting here picking at it, and it just came off, and I'm like, I don't know what I was expecting, but anyway, um, but yeah, when I came out to my mom, like, it was, she wasn't like, oh, I can't, like, why would you do that, and da da da. She was very much like, are you sure? You know, because she's like, you never been with a boy, and you never been with anybody, so how do you know for sure? And all I said was, I don't have to be with anybody, I just know. Okay, I just know for a fact that this is what I like. I've known it, and it's so amazing how you just know, like, when you're young, like, even as young as a little girl, like, I knew something was different with me, like, I knew it. Okay, and it's like, it's no different from a stray kid knowing that they like boys or knowing that they like girls. It's no different. And I said that to her, and she was like, oh, okay. But I think the biggest, and still the biggest uphill battle with her, is that she can be very homophobic sometimes. She can be transphobic sometimes. And I'm sitting here, someone who's very quiet and don't really say much. It's like, But I feel like now that I'm starting to get my voice, I'm just like, you can't say stuff like that. You can't do that. Especially when you have a daughter who's in that community. You can't do it because you're insulting me. And I will not be insulted. So, yeah, so that's really much the uphill battle. But her whole thing is that she just wants to make sure that I'm safe and that, taking everything into, precautions and whatnot, which I feel like any parent would have that. But, it's just getting her to understand that there's things you just cannot say, So that's where we are. But I think she's pretty much cool. Like, she's like, okay, whatever, it's all right. But yeah, it's definitely scary feeling, because again, you don't know. Thank God I don't have, thank God my mom is not one of those, like, get out of my house. Like, she could have been that, she could have been that. She could have easily disowned me and, like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Then I wouldn't have nowhere to go. But she's not. So yeah, but luckily for Erica, her parents, they're very much accepting of her, which is good. It's good to see that. I don't know, and again, when you have a feeling that, your parents are those type of people that are not accepting, and I'm so glad that Erica said it. She's like, why are you getting in relationships with people that you know your mama is not going to be comfortable with? And I was like, ooh. Like, ooh. But it also just goes back on, the big thing of, do we think Stephanie is actually a lesbian? Do I think she is? No. Well, not even bisexual. Like, she's saying, what is that? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, she definitely is not a lesbian. Like, she's not, like, she just, first of all, and this is another thing, like, it's so easy to be on social media and it's easy to put on a certain persona, but when you're not completely honest, at some point you're going to get caught. And I feel like Stephanie is definitely one of those people, because she even said herself, like, she has a whole YouTube channel and whatnot, and I also feel like she's on the show to promote her YouTube channel, because it's the first thing she talked about. Like, girl, don't nobody give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. But you put on this wild persona, and then now it's, oh, I'm uncomfortable, and well, no, she's like, oh no, I'm uncomfortable, and oh no, I don't want to do, because I'm sick and I'm going to die, and you're just sitting there like, y'all remember, first of all, you have to understand, if I have a sickness that could potentially kill me, if I do anything, do you really think I'm about to be hopping my happy ass on a airplane for how long was she on there? For 2 days? For 2 whole days? Okay? To see anybody? I mean, unless you paying me for it, yeah, sure, I'll die on the airplane on my way there, but no, not for somebody I barely even know. Like, and yeah, but the thing is, no one told you to get on that. You got on there on your own, right? Okay. So then you go to this whole area where there's kangaroos, which, by the way, I love kangaroos. They're so amazing. You go to this area where they have kangaroos and stuff, and you petting the animals, and you just so happen to bring up, oh yeah, I got this disease, and you bringing out all these things of medicine and stuff, and hand sanitizer and whatnot, and I'm like, but you did that, and I know you don't want to be, you know, when you are able to do things, you don't want to be one that's, oh, I can't do anything because of this. But if that's what you're going to pull out every time you do something, then you might as well just stay home. Okay? Because, come on now. And that's what Stephanie does. She always talks about how, oh, well, you know, I got this illness. Okay, but so why are you here then? Like, every little thing is her illness. But, what else? Oh, and then another thing about Stephanie and Erica. Okay, so if I'm with somebody, right, and they tell me that majority of the friends that I have, I've slept with them. Okay, we have orgies and all the other stuff. Do you think I'm gonna be with them? No. Like, I am not about to make it my mission to make myself uncomfortable, because that is uncomfortable. Like, this girl on Twitter last night was like, you know, if I was in a room with, you know, my girlfriend or boyfriend or whatnot, and all of her friends she slept with, I would be uncomfortable too. Yeah, I would be too. However, I wouldn't be in that relationship because, you know, unless you're that kind of person who's like, oh, okay, it's cool, whatever, whatnot. But I would be uncomfortable, so I wouldn't, because then what happens? You end up like Stephanie, like, well, do y'all still got feelings and whatnot? And it's like nobody wants to be in that, right? So again, why would you go out of your way to make yourself uncomfortable? And then another thing, Stephanie, and this is why it circles back to Stephanie's not real bisexual, lesbian, whatever she is, because again, when you put out this persona and then I meet you and you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything, I'm uncomfortable, that's because you're not a real lesbian. Like, you cannot sit here and tell me how you want to be affectionate with me, and now there's an opportunity to do it, and you're like, I don't know. What? I'm nervous. I don't want to do it. Girl, you don't. She ain't a lesbian. So the last straw, which is so many, again, and this just goes out to anybody, don't ever allow yourself to be a punching bag or be manipulated by anybody, because that's what Stephanie did to Erica. And I'm like, Erica, how many times have you cried since this has gotten here? Erica has cried, what, how many times? I feel like this would have to be at least the 5th or the 6th time, because it's like, girl, it's like, okay, so she's sitting here, so they're talking about how Erica was gonna try to, not Erica, Stephanie was gonna try to come out to her mom over the computer. Now, I already said I wouldn't have done that, so I completely understand. But it's like, don't sit here, if you know in your mind that you are not ready to tell your family this, don't sit here and tell me, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then when it comes time, be like, oh no. Because then it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, I think those of us, well, not me, but those people who are in the closet, or those who are not even in it anymore, understand it's hard. But don't be with me and give me this information. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then back out every single time, you know? So if you really are gonna do it, do it. Don't be, you know, trying to dip your toe in the water and be like, oh no, it's too cold. No. Especially when you had me come out to my parents. I mean, technically Erica's parents already knew, but still. But Erica brings up how she used to be in a relationship with a girl that did the same thing, right? Where she was basically stringing her along and said, oh yeah, I'm gonna come out to my parents and we're gonna be open, and then she wouldn't do it. And then she would say, oh, I'm gonna do it, but then wouldn't do it and wouldn't do it. Why Stephanie take I was so confused of why she blew up, why she got so upset. It's like, girl, she just sat here and told you, this is what happened, and you're talking about, when did this happen? How long ago was it? And why didn't you tell me about, like, what was even her name? And then I'm like, whoa, what do you mean, what's her name? What are you talking about? I mean, this girl was literally sitting here trying to get the whole information. I'm like, you don't need all that. Just like, and then hold on, she sat there and was like, because then Erica, of course, she got upset. She was just like, I'm sitting here telling you about something about me. We're being honest and opening it up. Sorry, I was drinking something and I'm over here burping, whatnot. But she's like, here it is. I'm over here trying to, open up to you, and you're yelling at me. And I'm like, yeah, why are you yelling? Like, why are you mad? This didn't happen to you. So she was just like, cause you just, and then she brought her house, you just don't understand because, of my past relationships. And I'm like, okay, but this is, so it's okay. Like, you literally sat here and told Erica that what you know about my past relationships and stuff, and you know how guys used to treat me and and that. Yeah, but this is the same thing Erica just said, so what's the difference? She ain't a lesbian. She ain't a lesbian. This just goes to anybody. Don't allow anybody to just treat you any kind of way, because it's not worth it. Like, this whole trip, like, I'm not about to bring nobody to my house and they're gonna make me cry every 5 minutes. I'm not, because I know I will cry. That is my weakness. And my mom was like, girl, you got a soft heart. I'm like, yeah, I know I will cry. Like, because I'm so frustrated. And it's like, I know there's something I need to work on, but bro, y'all not about to make me cry every 5 to 10 minutes. That's not happening. So yeah, let this be a lesson to anybody out there. Do not let nobody manipulate you the way Stephanie has manipulated Erica. There's just no way. I'm not about to bring you to my house and you gonna make me cry, girl. Alright, y'all, so oh shit, I done forgot about hopefully I can, mush them all in together. Okay, so David, let's talk about him. Child, this man legit was like at the house chilling, minding his own business. Mind you, he just got back from Ukraine. He in the house, he chilling. Lana the message this man was like, let's meet up. And he booked it back to Ukraine. I'm like, sir, I hate him. Because in the beginning, it's like, oh, David, he's such a nice guy. He just wants love and whatnot. Now he's absolutely annoying. He is so gullible. And it's like, sir, really? Are you serious? Like, so, like I said, he done booked it back to Ukraine. He didn't hire, I guess he hired another private investigator. And this private investigator basically said the same thing the last private investigator said. And he was like, I don't know if he thought he was Donald Trump or what, but he was like, sir, I don't care about your opinions, but you are fired. I'm like, so you're telling me everybody in the room is saying, sir, I am seeing a beak I'm seeing white feathers. I see webbed feet, saying quack, quack, quack. You mean to tell me we all looking at a duck? You're telling me it's a bald eagle? Like, what? What? Are you serious? Like, what more does this man need? Now, apparently, I heard that, spoiler alert, okay, click off now or speed through it, whatever y'all gotta do, spoiler alert. Apparently, they're saying Lana is actually real. However, even if she is real, she's still scamming. Like, talking about she wasn't ready, she was unnerved. Like, Lana was legit was like, let's meet Friday, and then he's like, cool, he done got all. And then here's the thing, man, David gets all dressed up, or what he deems is getting dressed up, wearing cologne and whatnot, and then she calls, oh, I can't do it right now, so you got dressed up for nothing. Every time. So then he was like, oh, talking about she had to go to her nephew's hockey game or whatnot, and he literally was like, so your nephew's hockey game is more important to me? Yeah, it is. Okay, breathing in her own space is more important than David. Like, that's just how I feel. But apparently they're saying Lana is actually real, and I think according to the preview, she is actually real. Lord. But if she is real, I would like to see like what would be her what's the word I'm looking for, explanation, because it's like, girl, you got a lot of explaining to do. This has been going on for 7 years. This man to try to meet with you 4 times. You got a lot of explaining to do. We all know, but I would be interested to see what would be her explanation. Oh, I just couldn't do it, I was scared. Okay, whatever. So the next people, because they didn't have Lisa and Usman, they didn't have what's his name, Yolanda at this point. Oh, and thank God they didn't have Darcy on here, but they're gonna have her on next episode, and I'm gonna be so mad about it. Oh God. But oh, Rose and Ed. So let's talk about them. So we pick up from last week's episode where Rose flamed Egg like a poached egg, okay? Flamed this man, and he just couldn't handle it. And see, this is why I said Rose, Avery, and was it Rose, Avery, Erica, and who else? Oh shit. Rose, Avery, Erica, and who am I missing? Somebody. Dang. Y'all figure, y'all know, because y'all be watching this video anyway. But anyway, they're the most sensible ones on the show because they're actually thinking. Rose, see, here's the thing. Ed thought, because he even said, well, I met you on Facebook, I wasn't expecting this. Right, and that's the thing. When you meet somebody on Facebook like that, you're not really taking it serious until things get actually serious. But my whole thing is, not only did you take this serious, but you still didn't take it serious, because again, you're still thinking that mindset of, oh, I met this girl for Facebook, right? Because otherwise you still wouldn't be treating her like this, and that's what he's done. Like, you don't and you really thought, oh, well, she's young, she's 23, she's from the Philippines, so she probably stupid as hell, and come to find out, she's not. She ain't dumb, she ain't stupid, she got a mind for herself, and good for her, because boy did she need it. Boy did she need it, because first of all, you just don't treat, the way Ed treats her, you just don't treat nobody like that. You don't. And Rose literally had her gun cocked and was just blasting this man. She had a whole AK-47 and had her receipts, like she was naming list after list. Like, you came in here, you lied about your height. Which I was like, dang, we went there. She's like, you're lying about your height. You mad because I'm over here getting change and shit for you. When they said, when she was out here, when they were spending money or whatnot, he was like, oh my gosh, she's just taking money out my wallet. First of all, you don't know the currency there, and she does. So if anything, I wouldn't mind her taking money out of my wallet because she knows what she's doing. Now, when they was like, she was like, keep the change. He's like, keep the change. And I was like, well, how much? What did they have? Was it pesos? They had something. Whatever their currency is. I had looked it up to see how much money was. Girl, when I tell you, this man was mad over 20 cents, 2 dimes. Sir, keep the money. Oh my God, Lord. But, yeah, they, what else did he lie about? Girl, he lied about that. Then he asked her to, take a STD test, and then you accuse her sister of asking for money, which she kind of did. Then you assume that, oh, I was in on it and whatnot. Then you go on and you, tell me my breast thing, but I actually have an ulcer. And then, now you tell me to shave my legs because that's not pretty for you. Then you come in my home, you're sitting here complaining about this, and that. And like, you ain't know I don't live in the best area. And instead of being like, wow, humbling yourself, all you care about is making sure I'm wearing my lingerie for your benefit. And then, child, she was going off. I was like, ooh, go ahead, Rose, go ahead. And then you sit here and you had every opportunity to tell me that you didn't want children. Talking about, I'm 54 years old, I don't want no more kids. But you had every opportunity to tell me that. You had plenty of time to tell me that. But you wait till now to be like, oh yeah, by the way, after I said, like, he had every opportunity to say something when they was on video chat. He had time to say it when they first met up. He had plenty of time to say it when she said she wanted kids. You had time to say it then. And you wait again when you feel like it. And it's like, this is a testament, in my little tidbit of the day, this is a testament of, you can't always do things in your own time. And I'm learning that. You can't always do things in your own time, because time waits for nobody, okay? And nobody is waiting for time, truth be told, because people move on. So you cannot always do things in your time, because by that time, again, people have moved on. No one cares anymore. So Ed thought he could do this in his own time, and she was like, I'm done. This is more than just babies. This is a list of things that you have done, and I'm just tired. I'm over it, basically. And good for her. Good for her. Again, this just goes back to, don't allow anybody to manipulate. And Ed really thought that he could just really get over on Rose. And Rose was like, no, ma'am. And I'm so happy for her. I was so happy. Like, she even said, she was like, the next girl, I hope I would say, she was like, what'd she say? She was like, I would say, the next girl you get with, that you treat her better than me, but I think you won't. I was like, she said, I think you won't. I was like, ooh. And he just sat there like, but I love you. And she was like, yeah, but I can't do this no more. And again, good for her. Good for her. And I'm assuming next week is the finale. After the finale, I'm definitely going to binge watch the first season. And then I don't know if I'm going to do yeah, I think for the first episode, I'm not going to do 90 Day Fiance, like the very first one. No, I'm just going to stick to the, before the 90 days, 'cause that's the only one I know. They said sometime in June that 90 Day Fiance the other way around is coming on. That's going to be a premiere, so I'm definitely going to review that. But as for now, that's all I got for my extra late review. Okay, but y'all know, sometimes, I feel, there's shows that I like, and I know there's shows, that I'm interested in reviewing. Like, I know there's one show, was it Undone, that I watched. I still haven't reviewed it yet, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I just have to give me some time. See, here's the thing. Just see how I'm learning. I can't do stuff in my own time all the time, so, because by that time, people have moved on. But yeah, that's definitely coming tomorrow. Like, I'll do my whole review and my thoughts on it. It's not gonna be an extra long review. It's gonna be real short. But yeah, they did say that they're gonna do. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I got. I do need to catch up. There's some things going on with Insecure that I definitely want to talk about. I just have to catch up because I'm like 2 episodes behind. So I gotta catch up on that, and then I'm definitely going to come back and definitely review, give my thoughts on what's going on, because technically speaking, and it's so frustrating because even my sister and I, we were talking about that, how like we literally have one more episode of Insecure, because there's like 6 episodes, so we literally have one more episode left and then we're done. Like, that's literally it. And I was like, it's like once you get into Insecure, like the episode goes off. It is so frustrating. I feel like a lot of other people are frustrated. I don't know if that's what HBO is giving them, or that's how Issa Rae wanted it, the people and her team and whatnot. Because if that's how she wanted it, I can see how that's kind of brilliant. Because again, once you get into the episode, you're just like, ooh, and then it cuts off, and you're like, damn. But you come back for more. But I just hope they all understand that it's also frustrating when it's like, feels like at least 22 minutes or at least 28 minutes plus like the credits or whatnot. And then it's only like 6 episodes. And they've been going for a year. And this is all we're getting, like a little tidbit, blues tidbit, right? So, yeah. And I was like, it's different because with Game of Thrones, for instance, like, it was okay for them to do that, because they used to have, at least 11? At least 11 episodes per season, and then by season 7, season 7, they had 8, I think it was like 8 episodes, and then for the last season they had like 6. But I felt like they could get away with putting like 6 episodes, because not only were we getting 6 episodes, but we were getting at least an hour and a half. That's okay, because we're getting more time with it. This is not this is definitely not enough. So yeah. Is there anything else I want to add before I go? Speaking of Game of Thrones season, the last season, I think I'm gonna do a review on that too. Give my little thoughts on it. I know it's been legit a year. Can y'all believe it? Lord. A year. I mean, technically we had a year without Game of Thrones, but we knew we were coming back to it. We ain't coming back to it no more. But yeah, definitely I'm gonna do that, because that was my show, girl. But yeah, so that's all I got. I got no more. Let's see y'all later. Bye.